In the Formula 2 season in 2025, we had an amazing championship battle between 4 drivers at the end of the season, but the winner was announced in Qatar to be Leonardo Fornaroli. But Formula 2 is a place where young talents and shields get to prove their talents to F1 teams, and where championships can literally get spun around out of nowhere. But what if the good drivers in the F2 2025 season were gone? Would we have an even closer title fight, or some weird twists in the standings? Let's dive in and find out. So the way this works is that the good drivers in the championship have been taken out. The drivers that have been taken out are as followed: Leonardo Fornaroli, Luke Browning, Jack Crawford, Richard Verschoor, Arvid Lindblad, Pepe Marti, Dino Beganovic, and lastly, Alex Dunn. Now, if these drivers get, let's say, first and second, a driver who isn't one of the good ones gets third. That driver would get promoted up to first, and get those points that you'll get for getting first in the race. Now, I may mention about drivers crashing into nothing, or something mysterious happening. That just means one of the drivers mentioned before did something that caused an outcome, but I want to be a bit silly by saying stuff like that. Now, F2 qualifying is a bit weird, as for the sprint race, whoever qualifies in 10th gets to be starting first in the sprint race, and the feature race works just like normal for qualifying. Just of note, the person who scores pole in this will get the 2 additional points, just like normal F2. Okay, so now we can move on to our first race now that I've explained everything to you. The first race, that is Australia, my home country. For the qualifying results, Gabriele Mini snatches pole away from second place Victor Martins by 1/10 of a second, and third place Roman Stanek, who was 5/10 behind. But as Gabriele Mini got a penalty, this leads to Victor Martins getting the extra 2 points and starting on pole for this race, and he'll get a better time getting points in the feature race in Australia.
It's time to stop!
As you can see in the image before, in lap 2 of racing, in turn 5, Victor Martins crashed the car and he could not get it going again. And then, afterwards, around lap 5, Villagomez and Goethe go side by side for the last few corners, and he does get the overtake done. On lap 6, one lap after the overtake, Max Esserson spins the car, gets it stuck in the gravel and can't get it going again, which causes a full safety car to happen. On the restart, nothing much happens, but on lap 14, at the turns 9 and 10 sequence, his teammate Sami Megatunev spins off and gets stuck at the gravel and can't get it going again either, just like his teammate. After all that chaos in the race, this leads to Joshua Dirksen winning, with Roman Stanek and Sebastian Montoya not doing much in the race to finish the podium off. And the rest of the point scorers consist of Gabriele Mini, Oliver Goethe, Ritomo Miata, Rafael Villagomez, and Amaury Cordeel. The Australia feature race for F2 was cancelled after abysmal weather stormed the Melbourne streets, so no points were given out for this race, which is bad for Victor Martins as he started on pole, but didn't get to take advantage of that. And since there was only one race, we see Joshua Dirksen in the lead of the standings, and Roman Stanek and Sebastian Montoya closely behind. Let's move on to race number 2, which is Bahrain International Circuit, which is in, you guessed it, Bahrain! Oh, who could have guessed that one? So, we got the qualifying results for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and now I can say everyone has been very good and did not pull a Gabriele Mini by impeding the air! How do you even manage that? Now, we have Victor Martins in pole, which means he will get the 2 points, and Roman Stanek is only 4/10 behind. And Sami Megatunev from Trident makes a surprise podium at 3rd place, only being 5.5 behind. Now that's for your breaking qualifying news report, and now let's head on to the sprint race for Bahrain. For the sprint race, a few things happened in this race, like the incredible 3 wide at turn 12 was insane, but in our season, it was only 2 wide, with Goethe and Mini going through, but colliding slightly. With nothing again. Do I update this counter? What was the outcome? Okay, I've seen enough. Only because Goethe was going past Mini as the outcome. But even before that, on lap 1 somehow, Sebastian Montoya just spun and got stuck. But that has big consequences for him in third in the standings. But at the end of the Bahrain sprint, when on lap 16, Esterson just can't get the car moving and is stuck, leading to a full safety car to happen, as we see Joshua Dirksen win another sprint race. Winning an F2 is easy in this specific season. Just follow the rulebook and it's alright. And he got disqualified. So, this sees us having Ollie Goethe take the win in the Bahrain sprint, with Rafael Villagomez in second and Gabriele Mini rounding out the podium, with Miata, Cordial, Megatunov, Stanek, and lastly, Maini running out the point scorers. For the feature race, now, nothing much happened with the drivers in our championship, but on lap 5, Victor Martins makes a clean and aggressive move down the inside on Roman Stanek. Now later in the race, Montoya does get a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, although this doesn't really have an effect on the championship lead. But around lap 19, Gabriele Mini makes a really good switchback move on Roman Stanek. But all of this leads to Victor Martins taking P1 in the race, Gabriele Mini taking P2, and Joshua Dirksen rounding out the podium, with a few of the high point scorers being Goethe, Villagomez, and Cordial. Now, as we move on to the results and standings of this season, we do see Victor Martins in first, who has moved up 6 places with a win, 2 poles, and 2 points. And we do see Gabriele Mini very close behind with the fastest lap and a podium, going up 2 positions. Villagomez also going up for a few, same with Cordial. Dirksen and Stanek in 7th and 8th respectively, they went down 6 positions, but that is not as bad as Sebastian Montoya in 10th. 6 points, had very bad luck, got spun around on lap 1 and got a 5-second penalty, and is 10th and 6 points, going down 7 places. Push Maini is on 1 point, and Max Esterson, Keen Shields and John Bennett all on 0. Now, that concludes the results for this race. I hope you enjoy the next one, and I'll be back to give another message when I come back with the results. Okay, for the Jeddah qualifying results for race 3, Victor Martins smashes it on pole by over 2 tenths, and then 3 tenths over Roman Stanek in third. Goethe is 5 tenths behind, and Kush is 5.5 behind. Amory Cordell 6 tenths, Sammy Megatunov also 6.5, Ritomo Miata around 8 tenths behind, Sebastian Montoya 9 tenths, and Joshua Dirksen basically a whole second behind Victor Martins' pole. And then you see in the bottom left those other people who just couldn't get it done. It is time for race 3 of the season, which is Saudi Arabia. Now, I don't have a Saudi Arabian driver to put on the screen, so I'm trying to put Dennis Hauger on because he's been screwed by the FIA before at this track. Well, in the Jeddah sprint race, nothing much happened, but on lap 1, on turn 1, my Wout, Keen Shields, spins out and cannot get the car going again, and he has still not scored any championship points in any races. And Gabriele Mini cuts the corner so many times, although no penalty for it. So this is post-editing shady, I hate to pause this, but Gabriele Mini got overtaken by Roman Stanek on one of them. You know what that means. Gabriele Mini penalty counter. Ding! Yes, I made that noise myself. And Roman Stanek gets past Gabriele Mini on lap 9 to eventually go on and get the win, with Gabriele Mini in second, Victor Martins in third to round out the podiums. The Jeddah feature race was a boring one, where the FIA made stupid choices, as well as Bennett losing his front wing after a massive lockup on the final corner of lap 6. Well, he was going down the straight, the front wing shot debris everywhere on the straight that should have caused a safety car, or VSC, but it was delayed for like a lap or two too long, and with just all the chaos that happened, it did end up being Victor Martins who took the win for the second feature race in a row, Gabriele Mini in second, and Kush Mini in third. I still feel like that is a very stupid choice, but the one against Dennis Howard was even more stupid, so I can't say that. Here in the standings, we do now see Martins pulling a bigger gap from Gabriele Mini, with the pole and the win from Victor Martins, and the 2 second places from Gabriele Mini. Ollie Goethe also stays in third, with Roman Stanek gaining 4 places and Joshua Dirksen gaining up 2. Rafael Villagomez down 2, Cordeal is down 1, and the biggest faller is Miata, who has gone down 3 places and is on 18 points. Now remember, this is anyone's game here. You could switch it up and you could be in first by the next race. And unless your name is, I think it's Villagomez, Cordeal, Miata, Montoya, Megatunif, Miney, Esterson, Shields, and John Bennett. As we move on to race 4, which is Imola now, I am still your host, Shady. I don't know what I'm saying, I still unscript these. Anyways, Sebastian Montoya takes pole position over Victor Martins, who loses out by 3 thousandths of a second, and Ollie Goethe 5/10ths behind both of them. Ritomo Miata around 7/10ths, and Roman Stanek around 8. We do see Rafael Villagomez. What? That is way too high, I don't know what's that there. But it doesn't matter, because in those bottom left people, it is 1.251 seconds, with Esterson, Cordeal, Bennett, and Shields in that range. The Imola sprint had a chaotic start for the midfield, although some light for the Japanese of Miata as he starts P1, but Megatunif stalls on the grid as it's lights out, and after turn 2, Mini gets pushed off track and into the gravel and falls down the order around lap 15, as deep as a WHAT?! I did not put that in the script! Alfie! What did you put in my script, Alfie?
I didn't do shit.
Alfie, I see it! Who was it then?
Matt Zuckerberg.
As I was saying, Victor Martins makes the move to first off Ritomo Miata, and later in the race, Cordeal goes wide and spins onto the gravel, and Victor Martins taking another win, with Ritomo Miata taking home second place, and Roman Stanek with another third place. In the feature race for Imola, a few random things happen, as on the formation lap, Sebastian Montoya stalls it, but he can get the car going again, just with colder tyres. Although it's not as bad as when the lights go out, and Victor Martins stalls it on the line. Although later in the race he is able to catch back up to second last, as Villagomez and Megatunif collide, leaving Villagomez's tyre broken and causes a safety car, leading to Oliver Goethe getting his first win of the season, and Sebastian Montoya climbing all the way back up to second, with a shock podium in Sammy Megatunif, and a shock 4th in Kian Shields. Now we have the standings after the Imola races, and we do see Victor Martins is still in first, but Ollie Goethe is actually starting to catch up as he jumps Gabriele Mini here, as he falls down a position after he couldn't take advantage of Victor Martins' terrible feature race. Dirksen also up 1, and Roman Stanek down 1. We do see Sebastian Montoya is gaining 3 places and is starting to catch up. Villagomez also down 3, and Kian Shields up 2, as he just got the shock 4th place. Now, this championship is very close right now. I expect anyone to just try and take this flat out. I think it might be down to top 6 at this point, because I don't see Miata doing much or Cordeal. Anyways, that is your results and your report for the standings for qualifying results in Monaco. This one was a weird one as there was an A-B system for qualifying, which leads to Victor Martins getting pole, and then Sebastian Montoya second, 6 tenths behind, and Gabriele Mini third, 4 tenths behind. And you can see on the left side of how messed up all of it is, with Esterson getting 10th with 1.3 seconds behind, and then you see in the bottom left of how far they were behind. So it's all jumbled, but it'll all be sorted out, don't worry. For the Monaco sprint race, a lot actually happened this time, and Shields cuts off Villagomez, causing Shields to spin, and a 10-second penalty for Villagomez at lap 3. And on lap 1, Stanek just collides with nothing and gets damage. Although, on lap 12, Dirksen has a heavy collision with Goethe, then crashes and goes off track and retires. Bennett hits the wall on lap 10 and has to retire, and while all the chaos is happening, around one of the laps in the middle of the race at Rascasse, Ollie Goethe attempts an overtake on Victor Martins, but pushes him into the barrier and gets a 10-second time penalty for it, which means Kushmani is your Monaco sprint winner, followed up by Gabriele Mini, and in the last podium spot, it is Sebastian Montoya. In the feature race in Monaco, we see a huge turn 1 pileup as Victor Martins crashes with the wall and takes out Mini, Miata, and Esterson, which causes a red flag and there to be a timer instead of laps remaining. Then at lap 7, Joshua Dirksen swerves to avoid hitting Kushmani, but hits the wall as a result of that and is out. And on lap 15, the barrier mysteriously just gets damaged, and a few laps later, they decide to call it a red flag as it is too damaged, which leads to only half points for our drivers, which has Sebastian Montoya winning in Monaco, followed closely by Kushmani and Roman Stanek in 2nd and 3rd respectively. So if you fell asleep on a call while watching, like me, you missed all the chaos of this championship this year. Okay, here we are now with the standings as we do see Victor Martins maintaining his lead after that horrific. We do see the qualifying results of Barcelona, and we do see Sebastian Montoya taking pole, but not smashing it, as we do see Kushmani and Roman Stanek very close, with Joshua Dirksen in 4th here, Goethe in 5th, Miata 6th. We do see a lot of those other people in those 7th to 10th range, and those people in the bottom left, one of them did qualify within a second, but some of them might have not. But this is your shady qualifying report. In the Spain sprint race, John Bennett gets suspension damage on lap 1 and has to retire from the race. But after turn 2 of lap 1, Joshua Dirksen and Roman Stanek are basically side by side, fighting for the position. After half a lap, Dirksen does go ahead, although later Joshua Dirksen does have a technical issue and falls 4 laps behind the person in first at the end of the race. Although on lap 18, at turn 1, contact between Mini and Montoya leaves both drivers spun out with punctures, and Mini getting wing damage with him getting retired because of it, with Montoya managing to get it going again and somehow finishing in 2nd, with Villagomez getting his first win of the season, and Martins getting his 3rd place and running off the podium. For the Spanish feature race, Ritomo Miata goes off track at lap 22 onto the gravel, and on lap 26, Villagomez pulls over and retires the car, but can get it off the track, so there's no safety car needed. But around lap 12, which is earlier in the race, Dirksen goes off track and gains an advantage and gets a 5-second time penalty. This was around turn 2. But this sees Sebastian Montoya win the feature race with Kushmani in 2nd, and luckily for Victor Martins, he gets 3rd place in the race. And that rounds off your podium for Spain. For the standings now, we do see Victor Martins in the lead by over a feature race win here, after he did get a very good weekend. But you know who got a better one? Sebastian Montoya, as he jumps into 2nd, overtaking Goethe and Mini in the process, with Kushmani also up 3 places with Dirksen down 3. Cordial does stay the same in the middle of those two, but Miata also going up 1 position. And those bottom 4 just still the same as they barely get any points. For the qualifying of Austria, we do see Victor Martins on pole and Gabriele Mini in second, less than 2/10, and a shock third from Amaury Cordial in third, also under that 2/10 mark. Roman Stanek and Joshua Dirksen are next up, as well as John Bennett also there. Sebastian Montoya and Ritomo Miata are around 3/10 away, Megatune is around 4, and Goethe is around 5. And those people in the bottom left, Mani is behind by 0.635 seconds, and everyone else is above that. Anyway, that's your qualifying results. Thank you for hearing me yap. In the sprint race in Austria, at the very start, John Bennett has a really bad start from first, and Joshua Dirksen takes the lead of the race into turn 1, and is clean on the straight as later Martins goes onto the gravel, losing some time on turn 6 on lap 1. Although right after, at turn 2, lap 2, Megatunif goes and does a flip and jumps like his F2 car is a Rocket League car, and gets a red flag to happen on lap 2. After it is all cleaned up and the race restarts on a moving start, Dirksen gets an amazing launch ahead of P2, but later on the very last lap from 3rd place, Amaury Cordial spins right after he passed turn 3, causing Gabriele Mini and John Bennett to crash into him, and the top 3 finish of Joshua Dirksen taking the checkered flag, Roman Stanek sneaking into second, and Sebastian Montoya getting a 3rd place in the sprint. Although this sprint race was entertaining, the feature race was not as interesting, but allegedly Gabriele Mini had some smoke coming out of his engine on lap 1, so he had to retire, and later Miata had a mechanical issue soon after Mini's. But on lap 11, we have another mechanical issue apparently, as Cordial has engine smoke problems. And on the final lap, at turn 3, Oli Goethe goes flying across the gravel trap, going airborne, going off into the runoff area. And this all causes Sebastian Montoya to get a 2nd feature race win in a row, and Victor Martins right behind him in 2nd, and Roman Stanek taking 3rd place to round out the podium scorers. And as we wrap up Austria, we have the standings in as Victor Martins does keep 1st place, with Sebastian Montoya still having the best weekend out of everyone. We do see Stanek up 2 places past Goethe now, and Mini also down 1. Dirksen does recover and does gain 3 places, and so does Villa Gomez, but gaining 2. Miata down as he only scored 4 points. Now we do see Megatunif up 3 and Kush Mini with no points but 2 scored this weekend, means he goes down along with Cordial who scored none. Now Esterson and Bennett and Shields, bottom 3, they just stay the same. Now, in the qualifying results for Silverstone, we do see Victor Martins taking pole here. This is very much his season to lose, as Roman Stanek 3/10 behind and Sebastian Montoya 4/10 behind. We do see a bunch of those people on the right side, some of them are over a second surprisingly, and 1 second, 4/10 and 80 hundredths are in the bottom left. That's a bit embarrassing from some of those drivers down there, like Kean Shields. Yes, I like to poke fun at Kean Shields anytime I can. In the Silverstone sprint race, Ritomo Miata gains a 10-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining advantage. A bit after that though, Gabriele Mini crashes into a car with an AI in it, getting him a penalty and major front wing damage. A slight bit later in the race after that, Roman Stanek went off to the track to overtake Mini, but when asked by his engineer to give the place back, He responded to his engineer,
No, I wasn't.
and later, Stanek was found to be in the right and did not receive a penalty for the move, which saw him take second at the checkered flag, with Kushmini in third, and that means Sebastian Montoya gets another race win under his belt. In the British feature race, not much happens, but after Mini loses grip coming out of the pit lane, after pitting onto slicks, he can't get the brakes right and goes straight into the side of Ollie Goethe and spins out. Now, in a bit, on lap 22, after Roman Stanek's engine blows up and causes a virtual safety car. And, a bit after that, on the straight, Dirksen spins and causes a full safety car instead, leading to a third feature race win in a row for Sebastian Montoya, with Rafael Villagomez having a good podium and Ollie Goethe getting third place in the race. Okay, now we do have the standings in after Silverstone, and Sebastian Montoya takes the lead after 3 feature race wins in a row out of nowhere. He scored like over 100 points in these last 8 races. It's surprising as Victor Martins goes down. The real question is, can he catch back up and overtake, or will there be another challenger in the mix? We do see Goethe up to third, Stanek down to fourth, Mini still with a just basically dry run. We do see Villagomez up 2, Dirksen down 1 with Miata down 1 as well, Kushmini up 1, Megatunov down 1, and the rest have just stayed the same basically. And that's your standing results as we head on to the next Grand Prix. For the qualifying results of Spa-Francorchamps, we do see Ritomo Miata with a shock pole, followed by Roman Stanek, who's 6 thousandths away, and Victor Martins, who's 18 thousandths away. Gabriele Mini is 2 tenths away, so that's a bit further. Cordial 3, Goethe 3, John Bennett 0.65, Sebastian Montoya 8, Max Esterson 8, Rafael Villagomez basically a second, and everyone below in the bottom left is over a second, but Megatunov is just below a second away. That wraps up your qualifying results. I hope you enjoy the race. In the Belgian sprint race, nothing much happens. Oh god, I feel like a broken record saying that so many times now on this. But nothing happened apart from one big incident and one minor incident. On lap 12 at Les Combes, I've definitely butchered that name so bad. Martins is going to the outside, and Cordial slides into him and goes onto the gravel, and he's out on his home ground. And on the penultimate lap, Megatunov breaks down on the second to last lap on track, so it does in fact cause a safety car, which leads Victor Martins to win, and Ollie Goethe in second, with Kushmini in third. In the Belgian feature race, we have a rolling start as Roman Stanek dives to the inside to overtake Miata on turn 1, and he does take second place, but going up Eau Rouge he does have a little bit of a wide moment, and Miata takes advantage after the straight and gets right past him. But a few laps later, on lap 8, turn 13, Sebastian Montoya goes off the track and into the gravel, but can keep it going. But later, he does spin out, losing it on the bottom of Eau Rouge, and it does cause a safety car as he's stuck at the top. During the safety car, Ollie Goethe's engine decides to have enough for one day, trying to blend in with the spray, but he pulls over on the track, which causes a red flag to happen and the race to be over, with the top 3 after the red flag being Roman Stanek in first, Ritomo Miata getting his first feature race podium in second, and Gabriele Mini finishing off the podium in third. As we do see in the standings now, Victor Martins did manage to actually take it back from Sebastian Montoya, as Martins is now on 164 and Montoya stays on 151. Stanek's win also puts him ahead of Goethe, who is now in 4th, with Stanek in 3rd. Mini just stays the same. Miata gains 2 places while Joshua Dirks and Villagomez are down 1. 1 point separates them two, with Cordial going up 1 past Sami Megatunov, and Bennett going up 2 past Keen Shields and Max Esterson after getting a fastest lap and a few more points. That wraps up your I'm so used to this saying that. That wraps up your standings, and I hope you go enjoy the next race. In the Hungary qualifying session, it does seem like Roman Stanek is currently on fire right now as he takes another pole position, with Joshua Dirksen right behind, 3/10 behind, with Ollie Goethe 3.5 tenths behind, with Victor Martins in 4th and Gabriele Mini in 5th with a big gap separating. Those people in the bottom left, they have a second or above, and Sebastian Montoya was very close to that. That counts for your qualifying results of Hungary, and I hope you enjoy it. In the Hungary sprint race, Joshua Dirksen goes into the gravel early on, but he is able to keep the car moving, so no safety car is needed. But right after, Roman Stanek gets spun around on the first lap with Gabriele Mini at fault for running straight into the back of him, and Ritomo Miyata having to go wide to avoid the incident, which then leads to a 10-second time penalty for Gabriele Mini for causing a collision, and another point on the Gabriele Mini mess-up counter, of course. At around lap 16, Rafael Villagomez slips into Cordeal and loses part of his front wing, but both cars continue. A safety car is then deployed as Montoya pulls over to retire with engine issues on lap 22, which forces race control to put out a full safety car, and afterwards Shields receives a 5-second time penalty for a safety car infringement from the one Sebastian Montoya caused. Through all that's happened in this race, it does see Victor Martins take the win of the sprint race, followed by Ollie Goethe and Kush Maini in 2nd and 3rd respectively, and that rounds out the podium. In the Hungary feature race now, we do have a rolling start that does see Roman Stanek lead us away. Now, very early on, Victor Martins does go wide off the track, and on lap 5 we did have Ritomo Miyata spinning on turn 1 on the track, but he can get it moving again. Now, a lap later after that, there is smoke coming out of Cordeal's engine on lap 6, which caused him to retire on the straight, causing a virtual safety car. Soon after, at lap 7, Dirksen goes wide at turn 2 and lets Ollie Goethe through now, and 3 laps later on lap 10, Victor Martins stalls it on the middle of the road, causing a virtual safety car that hurts his championship run a lot, as he retires soon later. On lap 11, at turn 13, Ollie Goethe locks up and runs wide, letting Joshua Dirksen go back through and pass him, which all leads into Roman Stanek getting another feature race win, with Goethe in 2nd and Kush Maini in 3rd place. Now, for the standings after the Hungary Grand Prix, Victor Martins does keep it and does extend his lead over Sebastian Montoya, but Roman Stanek, after a great weekend in Hungary, is starting to catch up again. And Ollie Goethe, also another great weekend. Gabriele Mini stays the same, but Dirksen moves 2 places past Villagomez and Miyata, and Maini stays the same despite his good weekend. Sami Megatunev gets past Amaury Cordeal, and that's all about that happens in the standings for changes. And I hope you enjoy Monza. For the qualifying results of Monza now, we do see that Kush Maini takes pole here, actually, with Roman Stanek less than a 10th behind, and Ollie Goethe just above a 10th. Joshua Dirksen is 4th, with Sami Megatunev in 5th, Victor Martins in 6th, and you can see the rest over there. We do see in those bottom left, that is wrong by the way, because Megatunev is on the right and the bottom left. So this is the only one I'm pretty sure is wrong. How fun. Wait, I can just fix I'm stupid. In the sprint race for Monza Italian, on lap 2, Kush Maini goes wide in onto the gravel and spins out on it, and he just can't get the car going again, so it causes a safety car, of course. And on lap 9, Sami Megatunev bounces off the chicane and slips into the gravel, but can't get it going very well, but he does manage to get out of the gravel. Now, as we move lap 14 at turn 1, Goethe goes wide and slips onto the gravel and tries to go out, and slips on the grass a second time, of course. and he gets stuck on the grass again. And on lap 18, Max Esterson has an engine blow up and has to retire, but he is able to get off track, so there's no safety car needed. With all of this has happened, we see Joshua Dirksen win the sprint race at Monza, with Roman Stanek in second, following behind, and Gabriele Mini in third, as it's a double points finish for AIX Racing. Keen Shields ain't helping that very much, is he? Now it is time for the feature race. Now this is going to be a very long one, as we do see Kush Maini having a really bad start, falling down a few places. It's almost like his reaction time just started to rest for no reason, with 3 drivers of Ollie Goethe, Joshua Dirksen and Roman Stanek passing him on lap 1 on the line. Also, on lap 1, Dirksen loses a front wing, but it went off track, so it's okay. A lap after that, on lap 2, on turn 1, Kush Maini goes wide onto the gravel, but can keep it moving afterwards, so there's no safety car required for the incident. And a barrier mysteriously gets moved from where it should be, so the FIA have to call a safety car to fix it. But during the safety car, of everyone who hasn't pitted yet, Goethe, who did pit before it and was in the race lead, loses any advantage he had and falls down to 6th place. Now, before the restart finishes, Amaury Cordeel gets front wing damage after Keen Shields just does Keen Shields stuff and has a front left tire lockup and goes onto the grass, hits the wall, hits 2 Louis Vuitton foam boards, one from the front, one from behind, but can't get the car going again, but does retire in the pits. Now, on the restart, Roman Stanek gets a random car with the accelerator on, hitting him on the straight. As he turns into lap 1, he spins and has to retire the car from first. And like less than 5 seconds afterwards, Martins gets spun by Gabriele Mini right after, before we even reach turn 2, and has to retire the car right after. On lap 14, after the safety car restart at turn 1, Max Esterson shifted left a little bit towards his teammate Sami Megatunev, and he gets worried, so he launches to the runoff area but misjudges it and goes onto the grass, spins 180 degrees, and is backwards, and he has to retire, which causes another safety car. It's almost like this grid today chose violence over racing. Hey, whoa, there's no Mercedes, there's no Lindblad, cut that music. But after all that chaos, it's Joshua Dirksen winning as he dominates in Monza, with Rafael Villagomez in second and Gabriele Mini in third. That wraps up the feature race. Now, for the standings, we do see Martins and Montoya on the exact same amount of points, with Roman Stanek close behind on 14, Ollie Goethe also close on 38, Gabriele Mini on 46, and Dirksen on 124. Villagomez passes Miata, and we do see Cordeel passing Sami Megatunev. Now, this is pretty big, as I will make an announcement in a minute. That is your standing results. Hey, it's time for that announcement. Just happened. Now, just before we head into Baku, the 2 Trident boys of Sami Megatunev and Max Esterson that kicked out of F2 and will not be making a return. The replacements will be Martinius Stenchel and Lauren Van Houten. We have a very interesting qualifying here, as we does see Gabriele Mini take the pole position here, followed by a surprise Trident in Martinius Stenchel after Lauren Van Houten and him joined. Sebastian Montoya in third in the Prema, and Villagomez fourth, Roman Stanek fifth, Martins sixth, Joshua Dirksen just a second over in seventh, and we do see the people in the bottom left, they're almost 2 seconds behind, and that's just 11th here. For the sprint at the Baku race, on lap 1 there is a bit of chaos that does happen as Stenchorn on debut gets into a racing incident that leads to Rafael Villagomez going off and retiring from the Grand Prix. Ollie Goethe goes to the inside of Bennett on lap 1 as well, and clips the wall, spins around and is out of the race, which causes a safety car After the restart, Miney goes on the inside of Amory Cordial on a move that would never work as he clips the wall, just like how Ollie Goethe did. He doesn't survive but is able to drag it to the pit. Now on Stenchon's debut, he does make some really brave moves and gets past Sebastian Montoya to take the race lead. But soon after his engine fails and he has to retire on the road, which causes another safety car to happen. Now on lap 19, Sebastian Montoya has an engine issue and falls all the way down to the very back, which gives Gabriele Mini the race lead and leading him into winning the sprint race, with Victor Martins in second and Joshua Dirksen on the final spot of the podium. Now on to the feature race at Baku, and can I just say, nothing happens here. At lap 5, on his first feature race, Stenchon goes too far at the outside of turn 1, crashes into the barrier and causes a safety car. Okay, that's Baku done, which leads to Joshua Dirksen winning, Villagomez in second, and Gabriele Mini in third. Wow, what an interesting race! We look at the standings after Baku finishes and Sebastian Montoya taking the lead from Victor Martins. Roman Stanek still in third as Gabriele Mini and Joshua Dirksen both overtake Ollie Goethe as he falls 2 positions. Villagomez and Miata going up past Megatunif, as this will be Cordial's final weekend as Stenchon takes his place. So he will get the Rotor next. And we do see not much else happening. We do see Key and Shields with 31 points. That is a bit embarrassing. And that's all I have to report on for the standings. I hope you enjoy the next race of Qatar. We're on to the second to last qualifying of this season. It does see Ollie Goethe take pole here with Victor Martins less than 2/10 behind and Roman Stanek 2/10 as well, but just above. Sebastian Montoya 6/10, that's a huge jump. And we do see in that bottom left, we do see Van Hopen and Wharton there as well at those bottom 2 spots. And 11th place is a second behind Ollie Goethe's pole time. Anyways, that is the qualifying results, and I hope you enjoy the race. The race, not 2 races. In the Qatar Sprint, something actually happens for once, as on debut down the straight, Nicholas Solov goes right past Rafael Villagomez to take second place, chasing Dirksen down, who got an amazing start from everyone else. Now, in the later laps of the Grand Prix, Van Hopen basically forces his debuting teammate James Wharton into the gravel, which just ends his race right there, having us seeing a safety car, and we do see another safety car later on lap 20 as Keen Shields, as he does, spins and gets stuck on the gravel. Now, we're basically on the last lap, which has Rafael Villagomez and Nikola Solov fighting, which puts Solov into the gravel and into 5th place. And here we go, we do see the Paraguayan driver of Joshua Dirksen winning the sprint race at Qatar, with Villagomez in second and Sebastian Montoya taking the final spot of the race. And off we go for the feature race, and I know everyone's already fallen asleep. This race is absolutely boring. I'm gonna skip it, it was that boring. But it does see Victor Martins winning the Qatar race, followed by Sebastian Montoya and Nicholas Solov on his weekend debut, getting his first podium in the season. Now this is really interesting, this battle, as they're tied on points coming into the Abu Dhabi weekend. Oh no, we're gonna have a repeat, aren't we? Oh, but we do see Martins ahead on countback, I'm pretty sure, if my calculations are incorrect or not correct or correct. I don't know. But we do see Montoya in second, Stanek in third with a chance of winning still. Joshua Dirksen, unfortunately, there's no chance he can win anymore. Gabriele Mini with the same, and Goethe in 6th, basically just probably going to stay in 6th. Villagomez 7th, we do see Miata 8th, Miney 9th, Cordial 10th, Megatunif 11th, and the rest of the pack over there, Keen Shields in 13th. But this is very interesting, as anyone could just win it outright here, of those top 2. On to the second to last race now. It's coming a very close battle for the championship on the sprint race. I genuinely couldn't find much here though, like the last few races as well, because it's been a bit too boring. But we did have John Bennett's car blowing up on lap 8, and Gabriele Mini going airborne for some reason. Hang on, that's not normal. That's going to go up the mess up counter. Great job, Gabriele Mini. But let's continue on. As nothing else really happens, we do see Joshua Dirksen win the Abu Dhabi Sprint here, as we head on to the final race. Now onto the feature race, and the door has shut for Roman Stanek's championship hopes, but Martins and Montoya are very much in the fight. Now, in the feature race, Van Hopen cannot start, and on lap 2, Victor Martins gets involved in an incident with a car just on the track, and Keen Shields. But Victor Martins is out. Montoya just needs to score 4 points and he takes the championship off Victor Martins. Now there is a safety car deployed for the incident, and on lap 10, Sebastian Montoya, who's looking to be in the points and win the championship, has to retire the car. And now the book of the F2.5 championship is shut. As the race ends, it's Joshua Dirksen with another win, Roman Stanek in second, Gabriele Mini in third, and Victor Martins' title as the champion, with Sebastian Montoya in second, Stanek in third, and Joshua Dirksen in fourth. But Joshua Dirksen is a winner in my eyes, as he's announced as a Mercedes Junior and got a seat in the best F2 car next year. So hopefully he doesn't make a return to this series next year, and that's the video wrapped up. With sad end for Sebastian Montoya and a big relief for Victor Martins. If you've watched the whole thing, thanks for supporting me so much during this, and I appreciate it. If you enjoyed it fully, if you want to like and subscribe, you can. Not going to force you to, but thanks for everything. And a massive thank you to Kingrave, my amazing friend, for helping me, for making me not go crazy, for making sure I don't procrastinate for 3 years. But thank you.